Is he record live? Hi boys and girls, it's me Butch. My name is Terry David Silvercloud. I'm 71 years old. I live in Vancouver, British Columbia. I'm an artist. When I was working, I was a high-end photographer, advertising kind of stuff. Today I want to talk to you about Lucifer for a couple of minutes, and the reason I want to do that is I know that most of you know little about the history of the Bible or anything much about the Bible or the Bibles and or about Lucifer, and you just assume it's another name for Satan or the devil, and that's not so. And I noticed there's a TV program called Lucifer happening now, a series, and that just perpetuates the idea that there is or was a being called Lucifer. There never was a being called Lucifer, ever. Lucifer was created in the 4th century by Jerome when he translated the Old Testament into Latin. Jerome, you'll know him as Saint Jerome, he was charged with the duty of translating the Old and the New Testaments into Latin. So he had at his disposal a Greek translation of the Isaiah 14:12, where that's the one and only place where that word occurs, Lucifer. Isaiah 14 verse 12. In the Greek version it's translated as Hesphoros. I may not be pronouncing that right, but it basically means bringer of light, light bringer. And for some reason Jerome may have chosen to use a colloquial name for the morning star Venus at the time, which would be a shortened version of the Latin Lucifer, which means bringer of light. Perhaps, and I don't know of any writings that could confirm this, because the only place the word occurs is in the Bible, Lucifer might have been a colloquial term for the morning star. Maybe he made a slip of the quill, but for some reason Jerome, when he translated Isaiah 14:12 into Latin, created the word Lucifer. Now jump ahead to King James and the Protestant Reformation. 1605, King James wanted to have the Bible for the Protestants written in English that they could understand. So he charged his people with translating the Old and New Testaments into English. And we got the King James Bible. I have a copy of it here. So when they got to 14:12, I'm going to read it somewhere here. This is how they translated the Latin. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? So Lucifer somehow came into being. The word is capitalized like a proper name, Lucifer, and writers like Milton with Paradise Lost and again with the TV series, they take this error in translation, and Lucifer was created. Just before I jump on, and I'm good at forgetting what I was talking about, there is a Satan in the New Testament. It's in Greek, Satanos. We have no idea who Satanos is, but in the Greek translation there is a word, diabolos. In ancient Greek it would be translated as accuser, adversary, opponent, sort of like you'd have in a court of law. And that's because diabolos, the Greek word, the ancient Greek word, it's not used anymore, comes from the ancient Greek words dias, which means coming out of or as a result of, and balos, which means the hit or the hurt. So you can see diabolos coming out of or as a result of the hit or the hurt. So it'd be like your opponent or somebody who doesn't agree with you. In the King James Bible, that word which Jerome left diabolos, he just left it in the Latin translation. He changed the O to a U and created the Latin word diabolos. The King James people took a popular word of the time, devil, and sometimes when the word diabolos occurred in Greek, you'll see it in the King James version as devil. But devil is just somebody who doesn't agree with you. It's not any particular person. There may be reason to associate that with some person in the New Testament named Satanos. We don't know who that is. It's not explained. It's just somebody who appears in the New Testament. But in the Old Testament, there is no heaven or hell. There is no devil. There is no Satan. There is no Lucifer. Well, there's Lucifer, but there is no Lucifer. That's the whole point. And I'm rambling on and on and on again here. So, in the King James Bible, they created Lucifer, but the Protestant churches agree back in the 1980s, and the modern scholars would all know this. This is a modern Bible. It's the Revised Standard Bible. When you get to Isaiah 14:12, the way it reads now is, all I gotta do is find it. This is how it reads now. And it's a proper translation of the Aramaic. How you have fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to earth, you who once laid low the nations. That is what the translation should have been way back when. I don't want to go on and on and on and on again, but you can look all this up. You don't have to take my word for it. You can look in new Bibles, and you can look in the King James Bible. You'll see Lucifer is not there. It's well known now. There never was a Lucifer. So if you want to be a smart kid like Butch, you need to know there never was a Lucifer and there never was a devil. But before I go, I need to mention the Book of Mormon. The King James translation that I read for you is a real problem for the Book of Mormon, because their book was supposedly written 600 BC, before Jesus and all that, 600 years. In one of their books, Nephi, the second book of Nephi, chapter 24, verse 12, if you read the Mormon Bible, the wording is exactly the same as the King James translation of the Bible. That's a problem for the Book of Mormon, because those words were not written until 1605, nearly 2,000 years after the gold plates the Book of Mormon believes in were supposedly written. It means that the Joseph Smith, whoever he was, the guy that wrote the Book of Mormon, I'm not good at all that. I'm getting old dyslexic sometimes. I'm forgetting things. Anyhow, he just wasn't very good at plagiarizing, and somebody else that wasn't very good at plagiarizing were the people that wrote this book, the Urantia Book, which you've probably never heard of. But it's a very huge book with no typographical error that I ever found. And it talks about what God is and all that. It's like a whole religion unto itself. The problem with the Urantia Book is that a really major personage in this book is Lucifer. The people that wrote these books, the Urantia Book, were Seventh-day Adventists. They must have used the King James Bible and just weren't scholarly enough to know about the error of Lucifer, because not only is Lucifer a big deal in the Urantia Book, there's even a quote that says the scholars of old knew about ta-da-ta-da. They are quoting, not directly but indirectly, Isaiah 14:12. The writers of this book did not know that was an error, which means the writers of this book were creating a fraud. That alone is enough to mean this book is a fraud, the Book of Mormon is a fraud. I've gone on and on and on and on. I'm like a yak, like a dripping tap. The whole point of this is to educate you with the fact that there is no Lucifer, there never was a Lucifer, there never was a devil in the Bible. That's just a King James word. And it may have also been, the devil comes from the same, it comes from a Sanskrit word divas, which means to shine. Diva, a divine, diva, they all come from the same word as devil. So devil really means somebody who's shining or giving off light, that kind of thing. So that's where that's from. So old Butchie Poo is going to shut up, and I think I've gone on for forever. I only meant to talk for a couple minutes, but I'm a motor mouth. I'm old people, you know. We just yak, yak, yak. That's it from Butch. I'm going to turn this off now. There never was a Lucifer. Bye from Butch.